Have y'all seen this? Roll the intro clip. Welcome to She Knows DNA. My name is Miavonna, and I am a board-certified genetic counselor. Now, I know last week I fussed at y'all over this topic. However, I would not be a great healthcare provider nor educator if I just let y'all sit around in your own ignorance. As a disclaimer, even though the topic of this does surround that particular boxer, but I am not officially diagnosing her with this condition I'll talk about today. One of those reasons is because technically there has not been an official statement that has labeled the condition that she may or may not has, nor has she herself came out and said, hey, I have this condition. And that all is very likely because of HIPAA. So people's medical records, people's medical conditions are not y'all's business. I know that's hard for some of you, okay? But I just wanted to make that clear. You feel me? All right, y'all, let's get into it. So what had happened was there was an Algerian female boxer that was competing in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. During one of the fights, she was up against an Italian boxer. And where the controversy came from is because while they were still in the first round, the Algerian punched the Italian boxer, and the Italian boxer then quit because she said that it was not fair. She has never been hit that hard in her life. So next came the rumors about the Algerian boxer being transgender. And then that transition to, okay, she's not transgender, she's a woman, but maybe she has some type of biological advantage that other women biologically do not have. Mind you, the Algerian boxer identifies herself as a cisgender woman, not being intersex. So if you tuned into my videos last week, then you are aware that there are all kinds of DSDs or differences of sexual development. And as you can see in this chart, there's really three main big categories. So today's topic of discussion will fall under category number 2. That will be the 46XY DSDs. All right, class, everyone say Swyer syndrome. Very good. Persons affected with Swyer syndrome, chromosomal-wise, have one X and one Y, which we typically identify with male for that. But yet, when it comes to the reproductive system organs, it looks as if they are a female. Those with Swyer syndrome typically don't have ovaries. However, you can still find a uterus, fallopian tubes, vagina, vulva, all the things. There are multiple genes to where if that gene does have a mutation, can lead to Swyer syndrome. But today, I am just going to focus on one gene. And that gene is called SRY. The SRY gene is on the Y chromosome, and that gene is in charge of producing the protein sex determining region of Y. As you can see in this chart, Swyer syndrome is not the only condition in which you have a person that is presenting as a female whenever looking at their reproductive system. However, according to their chromosomes, they have an X and a Y. So with Swyer syndrome, as it relates to the SRY gene, what happens is that there is a genetic mutation, a DNA mutation in that gene, or maybe that section of the Y chromosome is missing. Therefore, it's not able to produce the hormones needed or the protein needed in order to start the cascade effect of producing male reproductive systems. What develops instead are streak gonads. So whenever we say gonads, we either mean the testes or the ovaries. Whenever we say streak gonads, that means that they are severely underdeveloped, so much so that they might as well not even be there. So in this case, the testes is extremely underdeveloped. It is not functioning whatsoever, which then starts that cascade effect of the body instead producing fallopian tubes, the uterus, the vagina, the vulva, all those things. Streak gonads can also be cancerous. Girls with Swyer syndrome are usually taller than the average female. Though they have a uterus, it is usually really small. Of course, we've already talked about there is no gonads, so no ovaries or testes, therefore meaning that they do not have a period. And then because of all this as well, they truly don't even go through puberty technically. So, when a girl is going through puberty, not only do we think about periods, but we also think about the development of the breast, the whitening of the hips, things of that nature. They do not experience that. As far as fertility, they are infertile because they don't have any ovaries or testes. So they can still bear a child since they do have a uterus, but it would need to be through a donor egg because those with Swyer syndrome don't have any eggs because they don't have any ovaries. So with that being said, sex chromosome wise, those with Swyer syndrome are male because they have XY. When it comes to external genitalia, they are female. When it comes to internal reproductive organs, they are female. When it comes to the gonad identification, there are no gonads. There are no functioning gonads because now they're just that fibrous tissue rather than development into testes like we thought they were. Okay, cool. Now we have that foundation set. The thing is though, whenever some of you all were like, okay, that boxer is a female, but now she may have a genetic advantage. And really what they were talking about are the hormones like testosterone. Girls with Swyer syndrome have the appropriate testosterone levels that are seen in other females. There is very rare cases to where someone may have a slightly elevated amount of testosterone in their body. However, elevated testosterone is not a norm for this condition. In terms of inherited patterns in which this condition can show up, if it is caused by a variant in the SYR gene, it usually is not inherited. It's more so, we call it de novo or a new mutation. So that was not passed down the line of the family. Now, there are the other genes that actually may be had a high risk of being inherited. As far as the pattern's concerned, that also just depends on the variant and the actual gene that was affected. Last but not least, as far as how many people in the world are affected with Swyer syndrome, it is estimated to be 1 in 80,000. All that means is this condition is very rare. Long story short, if this boxer actually does have Swyer syndrome and you were one of those persons that was all over the internet causing havoc, I suggest you go apologize. Now to leave you with words of wisdom. In the words of my Uncle Harold while we were at a basketball game, that's not your role. And really, it's not your role to be doing your own taxes unless you have a background in doing taxes or financial things. So, whose role it is in order to file your taxes, you need to go ahead and hit up Garland Taylor, okay? Let her get you right. The 15th is coming. Also, it may not be your role to write children's books, but Miss Sharika here, that is her role. She just came out with a new book. You guys, please go ahead and support both of them and let them know that She Knows DNA sent you. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you for continuing to come every week with your questions and your reactions and all the things. I love watching those. Again, I'm free for any event y'all have. I love kids. I love adults. It doesn't matter. But if you would like to have someone, as in me, come and give a lecture at your school about genetics or whatever, feel free to contact me. But other than that, I will see you all next Tuesday. God bless you. May He keep you. And that's it for now. Bye.